Here comes your pre-market summary for Wednesday, December 14th. Futures back in negative territory here, relatively flat as expected ahead of the Fed. Coming up this afternoon at 2 p.m., we'll get the latest and final decision on interest rates for 2022. All signs still pointing towards a 50 basis point hike to come from Fed Chair Powell. But what will he say? That is the big question to follow at 2:30. Of course, we get the press conference where he will answer questions from the press. That will be the most exciting part, most likely, where we'll get, hopefully, some kind of hint as to their plan going into the new year. Here comes the futures for the pre-market right now. As I mentioned, some red here, 0.19 for both the S&P and the NASDAQ. The DAL pretty flat to start things off so far. Positivity, bottom end of the board here. Crude oil back higher, both Bitcoin and Ethereum holding on to slight gains so far this morning. Yeah, all about this to come this afternoon. If you remember yesterday, we had that big move on the CPI number that was cooler than expected for November, but then we end up just fading off all day long, right back to 400 on the SPY before a bit of a bounce, some short covering maybe, or buyers stepping in, supporting that 400. We'll see where we go this morning, maybe not too far ahead of what is to come this afternoon. Tesla on watch here this morning. A note from Goldman Sachs. They cut their price target, pointing to softer supply and demand going into 2023. Yeah, fresh 2-year lows yesterday for Tesla. Feels like it wants 150. We're below 160 this morning, trending to the downside as well for Tesla. We'll talk about that coming up. SOFI on watch, higher this morning. Anthony Noto picking up 1.1 million shares between Friday and Tuesday of this week of the company. So a nice bounce for SOFI. On that note this morning, Delta comes out with new guidance today. They're higher, up about 5% in the pre-market here, pointing to, much better outlook for 2023. And going forward as far as demand is concerned. Microsoft back to the upside a little bit here in the pre-market this morning. They've invested in this battery materials upstart out of Silicon Valley. Minor story, but we'll talk about Microsoft. We'll talk about Apple as well. Going to be a big day for big tech right across the board with this Fed decision to come. If you remember yesterday, Bloomberg reported to comply with new EU rules. They're going to allow rival app stores within its own. So we'll have a look at Apple once again. Moderna, huge mover yesterday on that cancer story with Merck. We'll see what happens today. We did give back a little bit at the end of the day, but Moderna up here pre-market as well. Make sure you pick up the watch list, guys. Join us then coming up at 8:30. Join us every day, not just today, at 8:30. Use that QR code on screen right now. Enter your email address, and then it just comes right to your inbox every day. We'll see you soon on TraderTV.Live.